It's not starting.
Huh? Oh, yes, I forgot. Please roll it now!
Deathnote is my second favorite anime, but today I'm going to focus more on the negatives. First things first, I'm not a huge fan of episode 1. In my opinion, a pilot should establish the protagonist, antagonist, and give viewers a hook to keep watching, which the first episode doesn't do. If you combine episodes 1 and 2, it'd be perfect, but you can't do that in 20 minutes. Skipping ahead, the Light and Naomi sequence is awesome and reminds me of some terrifically tense Tarantino scenes. And while we're discussing one smart woman in the series, it only makes sense that we discuss the other.
Don't you believe in love at first sight?
No?
I understand that the story doesn't work without her devotion to Light, but she's still extremely one-note and boring. I also would have kept her hidden until episode 13. I love the idea of Light being paranoid about everyone around him, nervously looking around in Aoyama, and the audience being in the same boat. But since we already know who she is, it deflates a lot of the tension, at least in my opinion. Next, we arrive at everyone's favorite part, the Yotsuba arc.
Tonight I'll be entertaining you as our special guest, along with the girls from the agency.
Hey, is it just me, or is this getting weird?
I think the best way to improve it would be to keep the same structure but make it laser focused on Light and L. L already said he considers Light a friend, so why not build on that? Plus, if Light uses temporary innocence to win L's trust, it would probably result in an even more twisted L death scene. On the Yotsuba side, Kira being Higuchi is boring. Instead, cut to Higuchi have himself this over-the-top evil shit, so we're like, oh, he's the new Death Note man, I got it. But then it's revealed that Higuchi is just the fall guy, and that it's really Namikawa. I'm a retard, so I don't know exactly how to execute this, but I really like the idea of L and Light agreeing that he probably isn't Kira, that he is. Throughout the show, they're pretty much right about everything, so seeing them make a random mistake would be a nice change of pace. And when one of them does make a random mistake, it's because of, you guessed it, Namikawa.
So even the great L can be tricked.
But instead of that, we get this.
This is going exactly as I planned.
To shift gears, the quickest way to get through the Yotsuba arc is to have Monster fall off the roof in episode 19 and end it right there. In the following episode, have him appear on Sakura TV because Blonde Chick has already bugged all the Yotsuba offices, cars, and houses. Then, with the understanding that whoever is Kira will make a move to try to kill him, the task force watches all of them. Higuchi can do what he already does, and we've edited out 2 episodes. I'd also like the episode to be mostly from Higuchi's point of view, at least until we get to this part, or maybe even this part. And in this scene, I think it'd be cool if you could barely see Mogi's shadow or something, but not actually see him. It'd be an Easter egg type thing that people would probably notice on the second viewing, and I like stuff like that. Putting Yotsuba behind us, I realize most people consider reaction videos to be trash, but stuff like L's death is what they were made for.
Are you serious?
But the way the task force reacts is retarded. L says Light is going to try to kill me and take my title. Then L dies and they say, please take his title. L says these criminals have never been caught. It is unlikely they will be killed by Kira. Then after L dies, Kira kills them. They don't even test the notebook like L said he was going to do right before he was abruptly murdered. I don't understand how someone killed him right as he told them his plan and they think it's completely unrelated. I do understand that they were against the scheme before L died, but you would think his death would let them know that they were onto something. I know Light says,
it's too simple.
But self-awareness in a show only gets you so far, and it isn't believable that detectives would be this stupid. Now that we've talked about the death of my favorite character, let's talk about my least favorite.
Nier, you're far inferior to L.
He's extremely unlikable with no character development and basically calls L pathetic.
Then you're just a loser.
He also figures out that Megumi is ex-Kira by seeing him once on TV. I know in the manga he comes to that conclusion in a much more sensible way, but that just makes it worse. I will give Nier credit for offering to work with Mello, but one good thing isn't enough to redeem him. To put it a different way, if I had 2 bullets, with Hitler on one side and Nier on the other, I would shoot Nier twice, but I do like Mello. Whenever he's with the director, a random guy says he killed a mafia boss, and it would have been sweet to see that. Maybe that could be how the arc starts instead of a retarded recap. Speaking of retarded, the dub spells out every little thing and is extremely redundant.
On second thought, I'll let you have full authority on this, Al.
That's good. It means we're taking the lead.
To go back to the Yotsuba arc, there's some other missed opportunities for twists as well. Mazda falls off a building, and as soon as he falls, we as the audience know that he's okay. The character of Geraldo Coyle, the second greatest detective in the world, is introduced, and 5 seconds later we find out is L. I think Coyle should have been mentioned in episode 2, and we get the twist either at the end of the arc or in this scene.
I'll give you this strawberry if you keep it a secret, okay?
I've already said this in a different video, and I have nothing to add, but I feel like I should say it again. I hate the ending.
You idiot!
And that's all, folks. Regardless of all my bitching, I do like Deathnote, but saying it's great is kind of boring. But to end things on a positive note, I'll play some of my favorite moments, and I'll see you on the next one.
This is the first time in my life that I've been provoked to hit a woman. I want to tell you, I'm Al. I'll take a potato chip and eat it.